My dears, I just finished recording this video and started playing back the rushes, and I noticed that my blue glitter is all over the place and all over my eyelid. And this is the thing that usually drives me wild with misery. And you might recall that this happened once before, and I couldn't bear looking at myself so much that I re-recorded the entire broadcast. But I can't be asked today, my dears. I cannot be asked. You know what? I'm hot. This is the season when I start getting miserable and hot, and I don't need suggestions about what fans and aircon I should be using. I know what I need to use and what I don't. And I'm afraid it's just the miserable season for me. And it's resulted in this mess on my eyes. So I'm just popping in to apologise for it. Maybe it will be better if you listen to this broadcast rather than watch it, because it drives me to distraction, this kind of thing. So I will let you get on with the show if you wish to still watch it, but I do apologise. I do apologise for the state of my makeup. I'll try and do better next time. Welcome to the broadcast, my dear old fruits. Do you remember over the last few months, in fact over the last year, we've been following the story of the Sycamore Gap that was slaughtered by individuals unknown. An iconic tree in an iconic beauty spot, slaughtered. And many of you have been asking me for updates and to be kept abreast of the situation. Well, I'm adding this in here because it was breaking news today that charges have been made by Northumberland. The two alleged culprits, Daniel Graham, 38 years of age, and Adam Carruthers, 31 years of age, charged with causing criminal damage to the Sycamore Gap. Killing it, more like, murdering it. They should get life for murder in the first degree. The Crown Prosecution Service has authorised Northumbria Police to charge Daniel Graham and Adam Carruthers with causing criminal damage after the Sycamore Gap was cut down last September. They've also been charged with causing criminal damage to Hadrian's Wall and will appear at South East Northumberland Magistrates Court on the 15th of May 2024. Well, that's encouraging news. Of course, nothing will bring them back, and any penalty or fine or sentence they receive will not do any sort of justice to this travesty. But I do believe in innocent until proven guilty. So even though they've been named, these two, they've been charged, but nothing is yet confirmed, and there's been no guilty verdict as of yet. So in my eyes, they are innocent citizens, but nevertheless, we shall see what progresses henceforth. But let's turn to a lighter subject, shall we? And we're going to return to the subject of the Duchess of Sussex and Nigeria a little later in the broadcast. But first of all, I must flash up this meme from Nigerian Princess at yahoo.com. Subject 43% million inheritance. Hello, my beloved brother and sister. Or should that be sister, like sister space with an A-H. My beloved brother and sister. My name is Meghan Olunrewaju Adebimpe Markle, Princess of Nigeria. Princess of Nigeria, and I have recently discovered that you are my last remaining relative. I would like to share my fortune with you. You are to receive a total of 3.2 millions of American dollars. I will send you the first million. All you have to do is open a bank account and I will make a transfer immediately. Just send $500 for bank fees to my account at Archewell Bank and I will transfer your inheritance. Please provide your bank account so I can send you 1 million first. Now go there, my friend. As ever, the Princess of Nigeria. 43%. With a flourish, Meg. Oh, it tickled me. But I think we should turn to something rather more life-enhancing and enriching, and that is the return of the King. What an exciting day for King Charles and the kingdom. Excitement built the day before when he was spotted boarding a plane in Aberdeen, returning to London. And when they did return, Queen Camilla was seen being whisked off to Clarence, where she hosted a reception actually for the maiden yachting crew. This was yesterday after their recent win, and she was spotted telling them that London is warmer than Scotland at the moment, which was absolutely freezing. And it's true, it's been very sunny here, you know, and rather mild, and actually rather lovely for spring. And this crew became the first ever all-female crew to win the globe-encompassing yacht race of Fable. And today, the King arrived for his first public-facing jolly since his diagnosis. See, it came around rather quick, doesn't it? I mean, I believe his treatment is continuing, but here he is, in public, looking utterly invigorated after all he's been through and is still going through, with his queen by his side, who has been so loyal and has been getting on with things, channeling the royal spirit in that indomitable, shand way that she does it. And he visited the University College Hospital, the Macmillan Cancer Centre there rather, to meet patients and hear about the innovations in cancer care. And he was actually lauded by everybody there, who said that he was so attentive and made such personal touches to the way that he spoke with people. He was very much wanting to give them his time and talk about family. And there have been quite a few rumblings in the press actually saying that Charles will emerge from this a changed man in many ways, having gone through what he's been going through lately. And he's always been a man full of empathy and compassion, but this will bring out more of that compassionate juice. And at least he will have the inside knowledge of hearing such shocking news, and he will be able to relate to his subjects on a different sort of level. And he has also been announced patron of Cancer Research UK as of today. Yes. So that's something to celebrate. Well, I assume it is. You know that I do a lot of my charity shop hauls from a Cancer Research charity shop, or a few of them actually, that are dotted around Cancer Research. And also I believe that the donation I made on behalf of us, and in light of a basketeer that we sadly lost to cancer, I believe I made that one to Cancer Research, didn't I? And when I did get one or two people that had criticisms for Cancer Research and said it's not the best. So, I mean, there's always going to be criticisms. I'm afraid I don't know the nitty-gritty in and out, but it seems like the King certainly approves of Cancer Research anyway. He's their new patron, so that's got to be a good thing for them. And he received some pretty blooms in this cheery weather, and this girl was a ray of light, wasn't she, in that pretty blue bow like Alice in Wonderland there, and the King was very receptive. And did you enjoy the photograph shared by the Prince and Princess of Wales for their 13th wedding anniversary? It's a photograph that was previously unseen from their wedding celebrations, taken by Millie Pilkington, and William is wearing his favourite choice, what he would have plumped for, we hear tell, if he had have been able to get his way for the wedding, this black frock coat of the household cavalry, the Blues and Royals, which he actually slipped into after the ceremony, I believe, and was seen driving in at one moment, I think. I'll flash up some photos if I can find it. But as you might remember, he didn't actually wear that, although he looked very handsome in it. He wore the red, didn't he? Because Granny told him to. Yes, Granny told him to. She instructed him to wear the red tunic because he had been appointed the Colonel of the Irish Guards only a couple of months before the wedding, actually. So she thought that took seniority, and I actually thought that the red looked wonderful on him. It actually made me wish that Catherine wore ruby to the hand rather than sapphire for a while, so that they burned red together, but I think better of that now. I think my taste has improved, and I can see that sapphire is the right stone for Catherine. But there was a while where I was hankering for ruby for Catherine. I was wrong. Rubies were always Fergie's forte, weren't they? And she razzle-dazzled with aplomb, with red fire, and continues to, bless her heart. So, over here we had Return of the King. On the fuzzy end of the lollipop, we have the return of the swaggering, todgering court jester, the Fool, otherwise known as King Henry IX, Harold, Prince Harry is also to return, my dears, to these shores, and not too far off. May the 8th, as it happens. For the Invictus 10th anniversary. This has been confirmed. I've already informed you that this was on the way, but it's been confirmed now. He will be reading at a ceremony at St. Paul's, a service of thanksgiving. And it is believed that his Duchess will not be gracing us with her presence because she just can't bear the stench of the kingdomers, can she? Cruel, heartless kingdomers like me, you better believe it. Honey, Hunty. Charlie Gibson is the gentleman who is overseeing their publicity these days. The PR queen, Charlie Gibson. The new brand manager that's hired to join their UK operations as brand manager. And he is going to be the main point of contact for all of their United Kingdom and European media. Lucky us, because he excels in media relations, we're told, and strategic communication. But is he as deft as the Duchess? She'll be telling him what to do, won't she? And he's worked for various clients all over the place, including representing Pedigree for dog food. Need I say any more? Need I say? Pedigree indeed. That name has been taken, actually, Meghan, before you begin merging it from your orchard. And on the subject of Nigeria, I had a few asking my opinions on Meghan's upcoming visit together with Harry to Nigeria. Owen R. asked, or commented rather, to say, delighted to hear you are open to discussing current affairs. Yes, because I said I would be doing that in future. I'm not sure when, but it will be happening. A few changes might be not around the corner, but in progress. We'll see. Without sounding corny, voices like yours are needed. What do you think of this voice like Hyacinth Bouquet? Lady of the residence, lady boy of the residence, speaking. Voices like yours are needed. What do you think of the faux royal tour to Nigeria? Yawnsville. I feel pity for Nigeria. What have they done to deserve this? It looks to me like the Defence Department there are brazenly using the Harkles to promote Nigeria, and the Harkles are happy to be used because it makes them feel important. Owen, I don't know how you reached that conclusion. I truly don't, but I would be rude to disabuse you of it, wouldn't I, my dear? So I wouldn't dare disabuse you of such a notion. But for those of you who haven't heard, the descendant of Nigeria, of great fable, Miss Rachel Ragland, is going to be returning to the motherland, to her family, to her real family, because she's 43% Nigerian. Did you know that? And 57% chameleon. This will be in May, and they have both been invited by the Chief of Defence Staff for cultural activities and to meet service members. Why? Brigadier General expressed honour and delight that they have accepted this invitation after their last meeting at last year's Invictus. So that's what all this cozying up was for. Schmoozing and using Invictus, which emerged from Harry's royal platform to make contacts and garner invitations. And Nigeria is a member of the Commonwealth. You know, that Commonwealth that they tried to destroy and greatly damaged, actually, along with the late Queen's legacy, who Harry claims to cherish. They're happy to go there now on this invitation, but as working royals, it was just, way too much. One of them was suicidal, the other one, I don't know what kind of substances or pills or contortions he was wrapping himself into, or beads that he was jangling with and praying over because how difficult things were and the pressure that was on them. Well, now apparently pressure's fine. Pressure's fine. Is it because they want to still swan about like royalty? Of course it is. We don't need to ask that question, do we? They want all the privileges, but on their terms, and they want to be able to attend as a future king and queen of Nigeria and Montecito, not as doing work for the future king, the real future king of the Prince of Wales and the existing king. That is what it boils down to. They want to do all of it, but they don't want to do it right because it benefits William and Catherine, first of all, or Charles and the wicked stepmother, Camilla. They don't want to do that. That's what all that was about, my dear. They thought, why are we, we're so popular. We're gaining all this traction and publicity, and we know what's key, and we're executives, but it's not behooving us. It's not benefiting us. It's the Waleses. And what were they then? The Duke and Cornwalls and the Cornwalls. It's the Cornwalls and the Waleses. What about the House of Sussex? The Kingdom of Sussex, which must be resuscitated. They didn't like it. They felt used. Unlike the Edinburghs, for example, look how much respect Edward and Sophie are receiving now. Look how respected the Princess Royal is for her life of duty and service, immediately switching her chief allegiance from her late mother to her brother seamlessly and utterly loyally. And doesn't it put all of that lot in far greater estimation and esteem than the Harkles? It's down to loyalty, my dear, and knowing your place. But now Nigeria are going to have them, and they're going to Todger in regardless. Todger on parade and Puss in Boots. That's what it's going to look like. Make no bones about it, my dear. This is their rival court. This was always the ambition. A rival court is what you are seeing. And one that has paid homage to Meghan's court. Another one of these jam scammers has popped up. No offence to this girl, Heather Dorak. I don't know anything about her apart from the fact she's a Pilates and yoga instructor. Of course she is. Of course she is. Another jam scammer's popped up. And she's number 7 out of 50, so she's quite high up in Meghan's line of succession. And she's been posting photographs of her son enjoying Meghan's spread, enjoying her strawberry jam on toast. And again, love you, M. Love you, M. Well, there's a fine line between love and hate, so they say. Another one of those jammers was Tracy Lee Ellis that I mentioned in the previous broadcast. And I said, with a little bit of playful shade, that I didn't understand why her name was spelt double E. Tracy. For my taste, a little vulgar, with no offence intended to anybody else, with a similar spelling. And I said, well, I'm not really talking to her. I blame the mother. Well, I had no idea, my dear, until you put me about it. I had no idea that the mother of Tracy Lee Ellis is Miss Ross, none other than Diana Ross. Naughty, River, naughty. I mean, I'm happy to criticise anybody out there, mother or not, but Miss Ross, never. She can do exactly what she wants. So, thank you for telling me and giving me the coup there, my dear, yes. One of them, for example, was Shendara Al-Shadir. I think I've taken a question from you before as well, my dear, but welcome again. Dear River, Tracy Ellis Ross. Did I get that name right a moment ago? The right way round. Tracy Ellis Ross is actually... Oh, I said Tracy Ellis Lee. What can I tell you, dear? Tracy Ellis Ross is actually a good comedy actress. I have watched her. But if you wanted to speak to her mother regarding the silly spelling of her name, you'd be speaking with Diana Ross. Yes, Tracy's mum is the mega-talented diva of Diana Ross and the Supremes. Thank you to all of you who let me know that. As far as the Queen's statue goes, it does matter. She was our Queen. Yes, the vast majority of you agreed with the scathing article I posted about the late Queen's new statue surrounded by corgis, basically that you thought it was rather distasteful, not a good likeness at all, and downright ugly in the face. Some of you said that you enjoyed the corgis and the look of it, but not the face. But in general, it wasn't well received. While I don't think the face looks very much like her, I love that the corgis were included, as I love any statue with animals included. And then you go on to mention the Amy Winehouse statue that I mentioned and don't like. Amy Winehouse statue, why? She led a lifestyle no young person should want to emulate. And I can think of far greater singers or actors that should have a statue. Well, my dear, I'm afraid I'm going to interject there and vehemently disagree with you. With every respect, my dear, you're utterly entitled to your opinion, and I thank you for it. But I will defend Amy Winehouse here, my dear. What did you say? She led a lifestyle no young person should want to emulate. Well, she wasn't presenting herself as a role model for young kids, was she, my dear? And I don't think that duty should be placed upon anybody's shoulders unless they're claiming it as their duty to be a role model. I don't want my superstars and heroes to be role models for young children. No, my dear, I might appear prim and proper to the casual observer here and there, and if you haven't watched the show very much, my dear, but I'm rock and roll, darling, I'm rock and roll, and I don't want squeaky clean. I don't want squeaky clean, you know? Not too pure to be pink, my dear, you know? We pink ladies, we're not too pure to be pink, so she could have been as reckless as she wanted to. And as I've mentioned in previous broadcasts, I was lucky enough to know Amy Winehouse. And apart from the fact that she was a fabulous human being, and if you want to know the reality about her, read her best friend's biography, Tyler James's autobiography about her, and you'll get to as close as you can to the kernel of truth about her life. I've mentioned it a few times before, but then you say, I can think of far greater singers or actors that should have a statue. Who is a far greater singer than Amy Winehouse? Now, I realise that it's all a matter of taste. And again, you're entitled to yours, but I'm just going to downright say that you are wrong. You are quite wrong, my dear. She is the voice of several generations. Several generations. And if you don't get it, that's fair enough, but you are wrong. You are just plain wrong. If that sounds arrogant, my dear, well, tough titty. And the likes of Tony Bennett would agree, the likes of Prince would agree. They're both dead now as well, aren't they, my dear? But many of the greats would say that she is the singer's singer of the last few decades, reaching far back into the previous century, actually. Quite stunning when she was at the very top of her game, and even when she wasn't, not bad. But quite an extraordinary talent there, my dear. So she's absolutely worthy of a statue, but that hideous monstrosity that they plonked in Camden Market, oh, I don't think so, my dear. They could have done better. And then you go on to say, I like wax museum figures too, like the amazing works produced by Madame Tussauds. I think you would make a fantastic piece in her museum. Oh, I don't know about that, my dear. All those wax figures, they get manhandled. Something chronic. Manhandled. Which is not a bad thing on occasion, but no. Only under certain circumstances and handled by certain men, but not just privy to the general public, my dear, and passed around like that. I think, oh, I've read that. As always, you look beautiful. Yes, thank you. Especially your headpiece tonight. Oh, that was the yellow one, wasn't it? It was a bit like a feather duster. Yes, I was having fun there. Somebody said it put their mind in mind of the late Margaret Rose, and I can see what you mean. Especially your headpiece tonight. Have a good week, River. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Now we can move on to the Prince of Wales, and William has been out and about. Prince Charming he is, and he thrilled the crowds, including many children, today, such as this little boy who met the future king and was a little bit cheeky with his handshake, and they had a wonderful interchange. It was very fun, very fun. The Prince of Wales was visiting the northeast of England to carry out engagements in Sycamore and Newcastle, and His Royal Highness began his day in the region with a visit to Earthshot finalist low-carbon materials to learn more about how they create their innovative, low-carbon construction material alternatives. And William then travelled to James's Palace in Newcastle upon Tyne to hear about the crucial lifeline that the charity's new centre provides to men who are experiencing suicidal crises in the region. And then he officially opened the site. And James's Place has helped more than 140 men since opening its doors for referrals back in January this year, and has treated over 2,300 men across all of its locations. And here Prince William is with one of the co-founders of James's Palace, the Marchioness of Milford Haven, actually. And her husband, her name is, well, Claire Mountbatten, I suppose you could say, but her husband, the Marquess of Milford Haven, is related to William, a cousin of William's via the paternal line. And then, of course, the Duchess of Edinburgh has become the first member of the royal family to visit Ukraine since the start of the Russian invasion. And Her Royal Highness met the President and the First Lady of Ukraine, as well as people who have been impacted by the war. It was a deeply emotional visit, quite profound, very moving. And at the United Nations Survivor Relief Centre in Kyiv, the Duchess learnt about the work of the UN's Population Fund, which operates in 12 cities across Ukraine, providing psychosocial and legal support to those in need, especially conflict-related sexual violence survivors. And Sophie also met with female volunteers helping their communities cope with the aftermath of the attacks through facilitating mental care activities for children. And this cotton midi dress by Etro looked divine, I thought. I've always had a liking for those brights, such as the pinks and the yellows and the greens, on a black background. It takes me back somewhere. You know when you get a flash of a feeling of nostalgia? It takes me back to something. In childhood it does, but I liked that. I didn't especially care for the cream clodhoppers for some reason. I thought it was a little incongruent. Perhaps a little too beachy or summery in feel. I probably would have worn black shoes with that dress, but each to their own. And actually those cream leather pointed pumps were by Nick Sexton, and the bag, the blue bag, was a Ginny clutch. Thank you for clutching at my heart, and I look very much forward to seeing you in the next broadcast. And wasn't it fantastic to herald the return of the King, King Charles III of the United Kingdom and all her realms, is back. And you know who's around the corner and who's going to be coming very soon? Catherine, the Princess of Wales. Ha ha! And we can't wait to see her, can we, my dears? No, we can't. Stay fruity, always on royal duty, and channel the royal spirit. Toodle pip.